Well, it's early October. You join me on the banks of the Tidal Trent at Collingham, downstream of Korum Barbel. It's my first session on the Tidal of the year, so I'm looking forward to this one. I've got a few hours today. The river is rising, there's some extra water on, so conditions look good. Hopefully we'll get ourselves a couple of barbel. I'll go through the approach I'm taking and I'll give you some information on this day ticket if you've not been here before, just so you can come and fish it yourself if you want. And hopefully we'll get ourselves a few barbel over the course of the video. This near side margin is quite sheltered at the minute. You can see down here the river's been all the way up here over the last couple of weeks. It has receded, but it's now on the rise again. This is probably the remnants down here of what was left from the previous flood. So we've got Cromwell Weir upstream. You get foam and proteins that naturally come off the weir, so it's probably just a build up of that here. So this is the scene. Rods are out, just targeting along here. Hopefully there's a few barbel about. So the sun's starting to come up over the flood bank behind me. Some lovely patterns in the sky this morning. Here's the setup I've got with me today. I've got my Korum Deluxe River Pod, a couple of KSI alarms. I've not got my standard normal 7 rods with me today. I've got a set of Amiga 2¼ pound test curve rods, just to allow me to chuck out some bigger leads. Got some 8-ounce leads on today. I'll show you the rig, terminal tackle a little bit later on. Got 15-pound main line on a set of 6,000 size Baitrunners. That's the setup for today. Conditions look great. Fancy a few bites today here. Let's hope that first one's not too far away. Well, there's a chap just arrived, just up there, further around the bend, and I got here at first light, and he's just said there's a sign on the lane where you turn in to get onto the flood bank here saying there's a match on today. So this might well be a short-lived session, but we'll see how it goes there. River is up and rising, so not sure whether the guys who are in the match, if it is still scheduled to go ahead, will be taking it on in these conditions. But if we have got to move, we'll probably just head further downstream, down by the conveyor section, see if there's any room down there. So the conveyor section is just round this bend. So you've got a left-hand bend there. Then you've got the old conveyor on the right-hand side. Just panning the camera around. River looks great this morning. Moody skies in the background. There is a bit of rain forecast, so looks like there could be a bit of that kicking around today, but there's a few barbel bites to be had. Don't mind if we take a soak in. What a lovely autumnal day it is to be on the banks. Well, that didn't take long. What a take that was! This barbel's headed off into the flow. Oh, just the start we wanted. Just got to be careful of the downstream rod here because it's kiting right on me. Make sure it doesn't pick up the other line. Let's try and guide it back up the margin. Oh, this ground's slippy as well. I nearly went straight on my arse then, going down for the rod. Yeah, I think it's picked the downstream line up now, which is not ideal. Go on mate, get in there. Yeah, we're in. Well, first one of the session, upstream rod. Yeah, tore off there. What a lovely start that is. £9.10. Thought it was going to be a double actually. Good looking size fish, but just not carrying that much weight across the bottom. Cracking way to start the session though. Let's get this fella back in the edge, get that rod back out on the spot. There we go, first one rested up, kicked off from the net. Well, what a cracking start to the session that was. Rod was in about 10 minutes, upstream rod, bang, straight over. Lovely barbel there, just under £10. Got both the rods back out now, untangled both of the lines. When you're fishing quite close in, crossing over lines can be an occupational hazard in this game as such, but we managed to sort that out. Not managed to lose any terminal tackle or left any rigs in the river, so that's the most important thing. But that barbel's rested up now, it's gone back, both rods are back in, and hopefully good signs for the day ahead. Fingers crossed there's a few more out there for us. Well, nightmare guys, I'm back in the van. It turns out there is a match on this stretch today, which is frustrating when I've driven 2 hours to get here and I didn't know about it beforehand, but I've got to vacate the swim. I'm going to move on to another stretch though and come up with plan B. First thought is to move down to the conveyor, have a look what's going on down there to see if there's any free pegs that I can slot into just further downstream on the day ticket here at Collingham. If that's busy down there, my other thought is to go back down to the middle. I'm probably going to move upstream of Newark. There's a club section down there that I can drop onto, so I've got a couple of options. I'm going to get the gear in the back of the van before I do anything though. Get myself on the move and let's find somewhere else for the rest of the day. So this is what the conveyor section looks like. There's a couple of people behind me on the Collingham stretch, but the salmon farm stretch is pretty full. Lots of lines in the water here, so not really what I'm looking for. So I'm going to head off back to Newark now and take my chances on the middle, on the club section upstream of Newark. So time for the second stretch of the day. I've just dropped onto a club water section just upstream of Newark. I've got about 4 hours of fishing time left, so there's a good chance of getting a couple more barbel out yet. So I'm very quickly going to get the lines in the water, not to waste any time. I'll show you the swim in a second and run through the approach, but hopefully, given we've still got the Trent rising, that we're in with a good chance of picking up 1 or 2 more yet. So here's the swim. Trent's gradually rising, so again we're on the inside of a bend here, so majority of the flow here is the final third of the river. As you can see, this near side margin here, it's quite slack, but there is still some pace in it. Just had a quick cast around. 8 ounces are definitely needed just to hold in here. You need a small car on the far margin over there, it's absolutely tanking through over there. But both rods out. Similar area just across there, same line again. Still a lovely day. Feels like there's a good chance for a couple of bites here. So let's see what the rest of the day brings. Hopefully, after the false start at Collingham this morning, we can pick up where we left off with a few more bites, get into a few more barbel. Sun's out, glorious afternoon, definitely couldn't have wasted this day, so got both rods out now. Been talking to some of the guys that are further up the stretch, and there's been a few barbel out so far today, so conditions just really good. It's a lovely day, no rain, Trent's rising, fish are on the feed, so just makes, you know, got to take advantage of the time when it's available. Fishing's been quite limited for me recently over the last few weeks with just one or two things, work and just family commitments and things like that. So whilst this morning was a little bit disappointing that match was on Collingham, but it's just the way it goes sometimes. But just dropping onto this club water, yeah, good chance hopefully one or two more barbel. So it's just a glorious day to be on the bank. So we'll keep an eye on these tips now, and I'm just going to keep some recasts going in. I've got some PVA mesh bags that are going out with every cast, just to feed the swim, just try and pull some barbel into the area, because there's probably, I'd say, 5 or 6 other wranglers around the stretch just looking over my shoulder here. So there is going to be some line pressure and some competition for spots as such. So just want to make my area stand out and just give the barbel a reason to stop as and when they pass through. So every 15 to 20 minutes we'll keep those recasts going in. Similar approach to what I do on the 7 really. And hopefully that'll be enough to get us a few more bites over the course of the afternoon. And from what was a disappointment at Collingham, it'll save the day and make a good day's fishing. Well, these are the ones you want. Yeah, I'll go for a chunk. Just over 11. Gorgeous Trent barbel that. Barely a mark on it whatsoever. Lovely shape. Carrying a nice bit of weight across the bottom. Terrific. Double take time. Wow. Well, it's turned up in numbers now. Second one's not as big as the first there, but still very welcome. Lovely specimen. Let's have a closer look and then get these back. Well, there we go. There's the second one from that double take there. Downstream rod. It's probably about 6 to 7 pounds, something like that. Nothing huge, but gorgeous barbel nonetheless. Right, let's get both of these back in the edge, give them a real good rest, get the rods back on the spot. Shoulder fish out there by the look of it, so let's see if we can pick up another couple of quick bites. Well, those are the spells you want. Crazy little 10 minutes there. Upstream rod firstly, 11 pound 2 ounce barbel, and then a downstream rod hooped over, 7 pound barbel on the downstream. Nice little double take. Coincides with the sun coming out over the course of the last 15 to 20 minutes. The temperature's just noticeably warmer now. Feels like the wind's dropped a little bit, whether that spurred the fish on or not, or it might just be a coincidence that a shoal has literally just come through the swim and a couple of quick fire bites have followed because the fish have moved in. Who knows? But both rods back out now. Good chance hopefully of a few more, so fingers crossed. Let's hope one or two more turn up. It's just nice being sat on the bank. My last session on the 7, I had to get the shelter out because it was bitterly cold. Total opposite today. Nice and toasty. Really nice autumn's day. It's been probably about an hour and 20 minutes now since the last bite. Nobody else up and down the stretch has had anything, so it's like the shoulder fish have probably moved off around the bend for now, but they'll move back in. They might have just gone off the feed for a period of time, who knows, but there's a bit of time left on the session, so I'm going to stick to the approach. I'm actually having to do force recasts every 15 to 20 minutes with the amount of leaves that are coming down, just trapping on the line, dragging the lead off the spot. It's yeah, it's just autumn's fishing. It's unavoidable. There's not a great deal you can do to combat that, so just got to watch your tips. As soon as you can see your lead's been dragged off the spot, get it back in, rebait, back on your spot. Just make sure your rig is where your bait is. Play the percentage game. So we'll stick with the approach, keep persevering, and fingers crossed we'll see one or two more bites yet. Well, that is my time up for this afternoon, I'm afraid to say. I need to get back home. Got a commitment with one of my kids tonight, but it's been an enjoyable day's fishing on the Trent. I'll be back with another session again from Collingham soon, and I'll do you more of a venue style video next time on the Collingham day ticket. Just want to give a big shout out to Vince, who's been in the next peg alongside me this afternoon. Cracking guy, and a pleasure to fish alongside Vince this afternoon. Good luck everyone with your own angling. Thanks very much for watching this video, and I'll see you on the next one again soon.